Hey, welcome back, Driven to Compete channel. My name's Sean. If you've never tuned into my channel before, I would ask you to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all my latest videos. This video that I'm about to shoot today is long overdue. The transmission is gone on this car. Toast. And I'm Boosted Tag standing here, and he's laughing because you know, not a lot of people know the full story. Basically, I hosted Pumpkin Fest car show back in October. It's now December, and we had some other projects going on, and I just quite honestly couldn't get to this yet. But basically, I took a bunch of vehicles to the car show. I was driving Baba Yaga behind me, and I put the wife in the Golf R. And let me tell you, these things are impressive as hell for 300 horse.
It's no joke.
All-wheel drive, they're no joke. They come through with a race mode setting on them. It is a DSG car. Even my wife can drive something this fast. You know, and this is no joke. I mean, this car makes well over 8 at the crank. And, you know, I've got plenty of tread underneath there. If you look, it's just... when you're in the right circumstances, it's hard to beat one of these guys. And we were playing on the way home. And let me just put it, we were playing on the way home, and, you know, I did a pretty hard pull on it. I think I ran it up to 68 in first, shifted, ran it up to 68 in second. When I shifted it into third and left the clutch out, I broke the shaft off inside the trans. And, you know, to make matters worse, she drove past me in the R and kept on going and left me there. So,
waving the whole time.
Yeah, probably laughing actually the whole way home. So, trans is broke. I'm about to pull it out, and hopefully either this video or another one that kind of matches up to this one, where I actually am going to go to Calumet Transmissions. And Bill has supposed to be the guy. They buy anywhere in the you know, in the U.S. He's the MT82 guy. So I'm gonna buy a stage 3 trans from him. But you know, I need to get this one out first. So this video is gonna be on how to do that, and hopefully
find the next week part. Huh?
Yeah, you'll find the next week part. Absolutely. So anyway, thanks for watching, and you know, stay tuned. I'm going to start by taking off my air cleaner. Yours may be different from mine. Mine's going to require me being a PMOS. I remove each of these guys, and then it gives me access to the screws and such inside. Of course, I'm going to loosen it up here and here, take off my electronics, get everything ready to go. Because I'm going to pull this, I'm going to end up removing this. I'm going to end up removing my throttle body because I have to pull the blower apart to get it off. Pull the belt as well. So it sounds like a lot of work, and it is. You know, I have to disconnect here as well from my catch can. But we'll go through the steps here. I'm going to start, like I said, I'm going to pull this off, and I'll show you the next step after that to the throttle body. I do work on my own shit.
There's proof positive.
Yeah. Yep, I do work on my own stuff. Some of those don't always want to come out. Not gonna pull these yet because I don't want to lose these. The hardware kit's like 25 bucks. Okay. All right. So I've removed the intake, and I've disconnected the electronics here and over here. And there's parts hanging here from that went into the cold air intake. Again, and I removed the tube here as well. So I'm going to remove this, and I had debated whether I was going to take this off or I was going to pull this off here, but I think I'm going to need to take this off so I have access. So, pretty simple task. Okay. It's not rocket science. I'm taking my time because it is a polished throttle body. And it was not cheap. All right. There we are. Oops, not on it. You can't really see it. There we are. Okay, let's see if I can get underneath. Yeah, there we go.
You're on camera. The pressure's on, buddy.
Yeah, pressure's on. It is not easy to get. There you go. All right.
Cool.
I've disconnected the electronics, so it should just, yep, comes right off.
Go.
There you have it. Twin 67
Nice
from
piece.
BMP. Probably polish that before we put it back in.
Just an O-ring in there. That
Yep.
seats it.
So there's that. We'll sit this. I should have. I really wish.
So I guess the next piece is this the little angle there has to come off so we can get at the bolts underneath of it. There's one way back under there. It's hard to even film.
Yeah, just you're not gonna be able to get on here. So I'm gonna go to a gear wrench or a ratchet, but I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to a I don't know. I could probably get on that with a no. Going to a gear wrench.
Yep.
8 mil. Okay.
That loosened right up.
Oh yeah. I think you're gonna have to pull this off. I think that's why they make it this way. You're gonna have to pull it off to be able to access the bolt down underneath in the back.
Yeah.
I just hope I can get to whatever else is holding this.
On the bottom side.
Yeah.
Yep. I would assume it's just O-ringed like the other part. I guess we'll find out, huh?
Yeah, but I'm saying is there's got to be another bolt somewhere holding this on.
Yep. It's right underneath there. That's what I was seeing.
Ooh. Okay. It's gonna
We
be.
may need some extensions.
It's gonna be a challenge.
We'll grab them and get that off.
Okay, guys. So I've gone ahead, and where do we start? So you pull. I had the air cleaner intake here, and then I pulled the throttle body off, and we showed you that step. And then I pulled the elbow to the blower off, which left me gain access to the bolts here. And I went ahead and I pulled the top of the blower off as well. And of course, there are some vacuum lines and some electronics in the back there that are hooked up.
A few lines.
Yep.
These centers actually pop out. You have to push both sides.
Yep. And then you have the same thing here. I had to disconnect the catch can from the top of the blower. So there's a little bit of work you have to do, but it's worth it to gain the access back here to the back that you need to get the two top bolts on the trans. Plus, it gives us a chance to do a little learning experience where we pulled the blower off, and I'll tell you about that here in a second. But before I do that, Jimmy, do you have your flashlight on you?
Yep.
Right down here is he's gonna shine a light on it. Your right there, that aluminum piece. I'm going to point to it right there. Yep, that's your idler, and you're going to want to go to your right to take the tension off to be able to clockwise. Yeah.
Looking at the front of the motor.
So there it goes. They'll let you take your belt off, and honestly, and I apologize. Our heater kicked on here in the garage. Jimmy's gonna pull that off. So I've been playing around with colors, and the Roush. I was lucky enough to find that Roush red, and we've been talking about, like, do I do the veins? Do I do the what do we do just to dress the car up a little bit while it's apart? And I just wanted to show you, in case you've never seen it. You want to go ahead and flip that over?
Sure.
So we'll show you what it actually entails in the blower. And of course, I want to also point out that we were talking amongst ourselves about porting and polishing this. And I got to tell you, there's not a lot in there as well. There's not a lot of, first of all, there's not a lot of casting that you can remove at all. And
it's actually surprisingly clean, yeah.
It's really clean, other than maybe smoothing that out, which that's a lot of work to gain very little, you know, you're not going to gain that much for the amount of work you'd have to do. But, you know, you've got your air comes in through here, and it enters into the veins.
Here, let's show them the inlet.
Yeah, right there's on both sides. So there you have it. And they are not dirty, they are coated. Just want to point out that that has a coating on them. They're not dirty in any way. So it comes in here and it compresses the air. And you know, that's how, you know, you're compressing your air and you're forcing it down through. So
basically, this channel goes into that channel and compresses it, forcing it this direction.
Yep.
And out the hole.
Yep. So that's it in a nutshell for you. It's a sealed unit, and there's not a lot of maintenance on these guys. No, not at all. So I mean, there you have it. Here's your bypass. And, you know, that's it in a nutshell, right?
Pretty simple.
So we're going to go ahead and we're going to work on those 2 bolts on the top of the firewall. And then we can put the car in the air and start focusing on getting those bolts and everything underneath. Try to get this trans out. All right, so we got the car in the air and we've done some work here. And I'm going to go over what we did. So we started off, we went through and we freed any electrical components, as you can see, that were connected to the trans. We took care of anything that was going to be in the way. Okay, like our O2 sensors, we disconnected and removed. And I got to tell you, you want to make sure you mark them, and you want to be very careful with them. You don't beat them around; they're ultra sensitive. So we went ahead and we did that. We removed them in front and then removed them behind, okay, the cat. And then we pulled this section of pipe down, okay, and your exhaust might go together slightly different than mine, but we're making room so that we can eventually put the jack underneath the transmission, and then we can start to like pull the brace down, get to the drive shaft, stuff to that nature. And then we can also start to grab the bolts here and such. But the important part is we are moving along, and this is not hateful at all, actually. So I definitely would say if you have a Mustang and you need to pull a tranny because you broke it and you have access to a lift, it could easily be pulled in a day. So with that said, let me go to it. I'm going to drain this using you know, we're gonna go ahead and drain this, and we'll go from there. We went ahead and we drained it, and I want to tell you, that's all metal. That right there, folks. If you drain your engine or your trans and it looks like that, you might have a problem. Just a slight problem. Hey, you know what? I can't help but feel like when we're looking at this, I almost feel like when they're panning for gold on gold.
They'd be thrilled to find this
Discovery.
much metal.
How about it? Look at that. I mean, you can't appreciate it until you look back. And look at this deposit of fine stuff right there. That's crazy. All right, so we definitely have identified why we have a noise in the transmission. Okay, guys, so transmission's out. Couple things I want to point out to you. There's a lot of electronics here that are going to be on the top of the trans, that as you start to let it down, and hopefully you have something like that, you can give yourself a little bit of room and you can access the stuff that you couldn't see or weren't sure was there. And then I have McLeod clutch, so I had something here to keep that fluid from leaking out. I had I save these things anytime you get something, and you know, I always save those little plastic end caps and stuff. So anyway, I will say this to you. I'm gonna need to replace the bearing with a 26 spline. That's a 23 from the factory. A couple other things I noticed. I don't know how in the hell people change out shifters without pulling the trans. My factory shifter is laying right there. Let me zoom in there for you. That was mounted to the trans, and I had a heck of a time getting it to clear as we let it down. So let me back this up. So, you know, my suggestion would be, if you're doing this and you don't already have an upgraded trans, I'm going to be putting an MGW, most likely ordering it on Christmas Day when they're 10% off. And, you know, going that route, we had a heck of a time, as you can see here, but we got everything off, and it's down. Starters right there, of course. Oh, we thought you could pull it without taking that off. We learned quickly that you have to take that off to allow you to clear the flywheel. So there's the clutch that was in the car. It is a lightweight flywheel, twin disc. I've sent an email. I called McLeod. I got to tell you, you know, disappointed in the guys. Just didn't seem very friendly or very quick to give me information, but I'm going to send it back. And that piece right there needs to be changed down the center from a 23 to a 26 spline. You know, I was shocked. He told me 3 weeks turnaround for something that minor. Just kind of disappointed me as well. Like I said, it's amazing what you uncover when you're doing projects like this. So there's the trans. Okay, so there you have it. Listen, I'm not going to go over, I do a lot of how-to videos, but this one's not going to be a how-to pull your transmission. Quite frankly, if you've never pulled a trans before and you need to watch a how-to video on how to do that, then don't pull the trans. Take it to somebody and let them pull the trans for you. I've pulled a couple, and I got to tell you, this is not an easy task, especially if you don't have the right equipment, the right environment, so on and so on. I mean, this would suck. I'm just gonna say it. If you had to do this in your driveway on jack stands, not that it couldn't be done, but man, it would suck. So I would say this to you: if you're watching this, hopefully I've given you an idea of what it's like to pull a transmission out of a 2015 or newer Mustang. I'm definitely going to be shooting a upcoming future video of taking my car to Caliber Transmissions. They're going to be taking, actually not the car, but I'm going to be taking the transmission there. And basically, I've talked to them, and they've said, look, you bring your transmission down, we'll have one ready for you. You hand us your core, you pay us the $34.50, and you're out the door with a stage 3, fully beefed up billet internals, capable of holding 1,000 horse. Now, that's going to be the transmission that goes in this car. I didn't pay DGR, who quoted me $900 to do this, because quite frankly, I didn't want to be in a hurry, and they didn't know when they were going to have all the parts back in stock from Caliber. And I'll be honest too, I wanted to be able to do a video where I could visit those guys, because I've done some research, and if you have an MT82, first of all, they're not junk transmissions like guys on the forum say. Listen, if you're out there and you're beating on your car and you're pounding on it day in and day out, anything's going to break. I don't care what trans it is. But I would say this: if you have an MT82, these are the guys that are the main player in the game. They do a stage 1 kit, they do a stage 2, and then they do a stage 3. And Lethal Performance likes them so much, they're selling their stage 1 and stage 2 packages. From what I understand, they make a damn good product. So we're going to find out. We're going to visit them. That's going to be in an upcoming video. I hope you stay tuned for that one. But in the meantime, you know, here we are. We're working on American Muscle. I mean, I'm working on some Euro stuff here and there. Shit, who knows? I mean, you can see, it wouldn't be unusual for me to be working on that. At the end of the day, it's about trying things at home myself, trying to you know, I take pride in being able to say that, hey, I did the work, I turned the wrenches on my own stuff to a certain point. And with that said, you know, I welcome your comments. I hope that if you haven't already, you've hit that subscribe button along with that bell so you can stay up to date with all my videos. And, you know, just keep sharing my videos with your friends, telling people about them, because that's how I'm going to grow the channel. I'm spending a lot of money to make some videos here for you guys because I really do want to grow the channel. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. And as always, driven to compete, watch, like, subscribe. Have a great day.